MedMen goes from height of $3 billion valuation to zero. Now, I don't really follow this as a business or industry. I've not ever used medical marijuana or legal marijuana. I went to college in the 80s. We're not going to talk about that time period. But I didn't know that MedMen basically is going broke. And there's two real estate stories connected to that. One is, they have a huge number of retail stores. They have 13 retail stores in Southern California. Those retail stores are going to be either sold to another medical marijuana retailer, medical marijuana or marijuana retailer, whatever that is, who buy the company. Or if the company doesn't have value, if the brands don't have value, there's just more retail space on the market. They're going to be sold. And even if somebody does buy the whole company, they're likely to close some of the stores because they weren't performing. That's what happens when companies are sold. So there's another retailer having financial problems. You might have thought of all the businesses that was doing well, of all the industries that has done well in the last 3 or 4 years, you might have thought it was marijuana. It seems like, I don't know about you, but you really can't go outdoors in a crowd anymore without smelling marijuana. People walk with little pipe things or cigarette things with marijuana in it. We know the use has gone way up, but the other real estate story hidden in here is really sad as a Californian, as a native Californian, is that what's really driving my business is not competition of other marijuana retailers. And I'm sure there are competition. I'm sure there's great companies putting a lot of money into this space. But the one thing that's killing them that they can't compete with is the illegal marijuana trade. Why is that? They don't pay taxes. They're not regulated. They barely pay labor. They smuggle labor in illegally. They're virtually slave laborers. Many Californians don't know. There's a great website, YouTube channel, California Insider, who did a great work. I've seen this as a real estate agent. Our desert areas are being overrun with cartels growing illegal marijuana. Now, it's also true we have both legal and illegal marijuana being grown in the city. I had a listing that was industrial property, and it was being done illegally. There's so much money being made that they're willing to kind of fight the law for a while, and they eventually got raided and put out of business. And this is a common experience. And now you have the problem of the cleanup and the reputation and so on. But what also is going on, I had listings of land out in the high desert, well past Victorville, well past Spring Valley Ranch, well past Palm Springs, where cartels would buy 40, 50 acre lots and put fences up and had armed security guards that were illegal and were growing medical marijuana. They would steal neighbors' water. And you imagine being a retiree or just a family living out in the desert in your own house. You have a well, you have some sort of water supply, and your neighbor is a cartel and they steal your water because marijuana is very water intensive. You can imagine the desert, how hard it is to get, how valuable water is. I know when I sold those properties, wells were very valuable. Well, equipment was hard to get and valuable. And these cartels will steal and threaten neighbors and take their water and their electricity if they have generators. This is a big problem out in the desert areas, a big problem. We don't know this in the city, not covered in the main news, but California Insider does a fantastic job talking about this. It's so prevalent that they put out of business a $3 billion company in California selling marijuana. Unbelievable.